Pleasant Podcast with is it The Perfect Girl or Perfect Girl?
Just Perfect Girl.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. This is just for me to synchronize this. This might sound obnoxiously loud. Sweet. All right, here we are in a coffee shop far, far away. You're listening to the Pleasant Podcast. I'm your host here, Avery, and in the studio, or back room, I suppose, we have Perfect Girl. If you guys can say your names and where you're from, that would help out.
Yeah. I'm Tony Beatty. I am from Wadsworth, Ohio.
I'm Sam Hollick. I was gonna say I'm from Sam Hollick. I'm Sam Hollick. I'm from Wadsworth, Ohio. Also, yeah.
I'm from Jake Ross, and I'm Perfect Girl.
Why'd you guys pick the name Perfect Girl, dude?
You guys are involved.
It's well, I guess I'd like to quote the. No, I'm not gonna do that. The Greta Van Fleet pitchfork interview. I don't know who gives a shit.
Greta Van Fleet's pretty sweet, dude.
That was Pitchfork's response to what Greta Van Fleet's attitude should be, apparently. No, but I don't know. It was just random.
It came up, and then nobody had it,
Yeah, no, well, actually, it's a funny story.
and do we tell?
Yeah, no, the music on streaming. There's another perfect.
Oh, yeah, there's another Perfect Girl, but it's like some project, but we had it first.
We did have it. Yeah, like
We did.
Can you prove that you had it first, dude?
Yeah.
You can?
Oh, yeah, we got the chronology, man. It works out.
Yeah. It's like my cell phone clip file shows
Yeah,
that they had it exactly 2 days.
yeah.
Exactly.
It's really annoying though, because like on our streaming, like it's when you look at Perfect Girl, like on Spotify or Yeah, but like it just says, yeah. Someone even like wrote a thing about us, like a little write up, and like they said, oh, they have 2 albums out, Spice Pictures and what's it, Midnight Cowboy or something. It's not our album.
It's not
our
record. Yeah.
We do have 2 records out.
Yeah, at this point.
Where do you guys do most of your recording?
Well, for our first record, we had a friend who goes to Ohio University, and he's majoring in music production.
Nice.
And he was doing like a project where he had to record stuff. And he had us come out, and over 3 days we recorded the whole album just in the studio that in
That's
a weekend. It
yeah.
was crazy.
Yeah, a commitment, man.
Yeah. And then this other record we have out is more of a live release that we did at the Case Western Reserve radio station, and they recorded
Nice.
that for us and
Yeah,
mixed
yeah.
it, and it was really good mix and everything. So we
Sweet.
decided to put that out too. Yeah.
Yeah, but most of our recording now is going to sort of be done in our home studio. We've been putting together like a rig to get all that done. So we're looking to like cut another record or an EP at the very least this winter. And then there's also a potential split, maybe, with something.
Oh, I thought
Might
you
be
meant like the
impressed.
band was splitting up. I was like, dude, that was fast. Are you serious?
We're here and we're done.
Yeah.
That's why we're here. We're here to
Yeah.
talk about being done.
We're here to say that we are
Yeah,
finished.
we're done.
Yeah.
Done.
Okay, so the split 7-inch. All right.
Yeah, no,
Sweet.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Sweet.
it's a little preliminary, but could happen. Yeah, hopefully.
What is the music scene like in your neck of the woods?
Well, like Wadsworth, actually, like where we
yeah,
live.
yeah.
it's,
Wadsworth like versus Akron
okay, well-
versus Cleveland. I
Well,
guess.
Wadsworth, there's really nothing at all. Like I mean nothing. Like there's one coffee shop where there's some open mics, like once a week or something.
That sounds exactly like this place.
Oh yeah.
like straight up.
It's like
dude.
full.
It's yeah. You
Yeah.
can't play loud music there.
We tried. Me and Jake tried.
Yeah, they
Did not
played.
work out.
Yeah, they played like Jack White covers, and like they hated it.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it? Are there relatively young people?
Oh
there?
no, it's like basically I describe it as this: is that there's older people, like generally, and then like people who I guess are middle aged and want their kids to go to school there, and that's kind of like the 2 kinds of people that are there.
I see.
Like violent, angry high schoolers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's like a little subculture.
Yeah, but yeah, it's really not really doesn't really even have a scene, I wouldn't say. But that's why we play Akron like a lot, and Akron and Kent and Cleveland, just because there actually are shows there. We never played a show in our hometown.
Damn.
Yeah.
that is.
That's a famous saying. Yeah.
Have you guys gone to any house shows? Participated in any?
Oh
house
yeah,
shows?
yeah. That's like most of our shows. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the house scenes are really like the places we find are most receptive
Mhm.
to our music. We got Bless This Mess in Akron, the Hoe Garden in Kent, which is now defunct, but when it was around, it was like a great place to just play to a ton of college kids who are just down to listen to your music. Yeah, the house scene is really where we like to play. We feel more comfortable there, I'd say.
Right.
I think that's the core of like the DIY scene anywhere, is it's having just good house venues and things like that.
What are the most like recent, like the most recent shows you guys have had? Where were they located?
We had one at Blank Slate in Elyria.
Yeah,
pretty recently. That's a great.
That
Yeah,
place
that's
is
one of our
cool.
favorite venues to play for sure.
Yeah.
Where was the Peach Pit? Yeah, the Peach Pit. New house venue in Akron. That's pretty cool, pretty lively. There's a lot of
yes.
a lot of people there. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of liquor down there at the Peach Pit. Yep, there's a wall of it.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah, actually at the Peach Pit we played, and it was on Halloween, or like the Saturday before Halloween. So that's when everyone in college, I guess, celebrates Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was like a bunch of people down there, and like we started playing, and it made we made like these shrill noises, and like half the people left, and but the people who were there really enjoyed the show. Yeah.
People who toughed it out.
Enjoyed it.
How long have you guys been playing together?
Like I met like 8 months we've been playing together like as a band. I met Jake our drummer Jake like a year ago, and because do you want?
Yeah, I mean, me and Jake knew each other from high school, and we kind of jammed together for about I don't know, a couple months before this was a thing. You know, we realized we had similar music taste, musical interests, things like that. So we kind of jammed, and then Sam came into the picture, and that's when we really started to like be able to write songs and work as a unit. And yeah.
Oh yeah, it was. No, it was not at all. I was basically what happened was I was upset because I had been like trying for 3 years to actually be in a band.
Yeah.
And it's like I didn't do anything in high school except practice because I wanted to be in a band, and so I was like complaining to my mom, and I was complaining to my mom. That's about all I did really. I was like, oh, I can't do anything. You know, what am I doing with my life? You know, that basic thing. And then so basically she felt bad, I guess, and so she my sister, who is Tony's age, she knew him. They go to school. They still do go to high school together. And so she texted Tony and asked if he'd be interested in doing music with me sometime. And so that's how I met them. Yeah.
Well, how old are you guys?
I'm 21.
17 years old.
I feel it. Yeah, I'm 23. Yeah.
Yeah. 2
the
years
whole
apart.
the whole crew is like under 25.
Yeah.
For
yeah, we're
sure.
pretty. People are always really blown away that Tony's like 17, I think, right? He's a kid. Tony's a kid.
In some ways, I feel like a kid.
Have you guys shot any music videos yet?
Kind of. Yeah, it's not. I don't endorse it.
I don't endorse that one.
Yeah.
We had plans to over the summer, and then that kind of fell through. I think that it's pretty much my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty much my fault. I derailed things for a little while.
He had one job.
Well, I had one job, but then you have the lady friends show up from out of the mountains, and it derails your life for a little while. They can attest to it.
Yeah, that's
It almost ruined everything.
literally what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, but then she left, and things are fine. I'm unhappy, right? But that's good. No. It's good. I use it. It fuels everything.
But shit's getting done, dude.
I just don't have anything else to do, so I just play for like 4 or 5 hours a day.
Yeah, me too. I just don't do anything except for play guitar. There was a phase where I would not. There's a couple. I don't know. Like the two things I ever do. Like I mostly just play guitar, but then there's there'll be like 2 days where I won't play guitar, and I'll just play video games like the entire day for 2 days, and then after that I'm like, all right, I'm done with that, and then I'll go 2 weeks of just playing guitar.
Yeah, and it just jumps back and forth.
Yeah, I get burnt
Oh,
out,
yeah.
so I need to just play stupid video games for 2 days, you know. But other than that,
Are you playing like Fortnite the whole time or something?
no, I have played that game. I mostly, I don't know. I try it. The thing is, I was playing. I kind of got addicted to Grand Theft Auto for a while.
Which one?
GTA 5.
Yeah,
dude.
dude.
Yeah. I have it on my PC, and I was like, one time I woke up and I was really sad, and I played it from 11 a.m. to midnight, like just straight. I just sat there and played Grand Theft Auto, and like I was really productive the next week with guitar. You know, I
Holy
was like
shit.
actually writing a lot of stuff, but yeah.
It's okay to escape.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
now I try to play
yeah.
like games that I think have like good vibes or something, like Pokemon, you know.
Or you can rob a bank in Grand Theft
D-
Auto.
yeah,
like
it's
either
like
way.
duality of man.
Neon Indian.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Jesus.
Tony, would you like to?
Yeah, I don't really have anything to elaborate on that. I don't know. What do I do in my free time? My vices. AP literature homework, I guess, reading a book. Yeah. No, I mean no. It's just like schoolwork. Yeah, but also I like watching television, I guess, like, you know, Breaking Bad. I'm watching
It's a
that
good
right
show.
now.
Better
Yeah,
Call
yeah,
Saul is dope,
yeah.
too.
I've heard.
Yeah.
Sam's been trying to get me to watch it, and I'm finally
Yeah.
getting into that. Yeah. What else do I like? I like watching Freaks and Geeks. That's a good one. I like YouTube. YouTube's a great place to just kind of go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
YouTube, Bono. Shout out to Bono. It's great. Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, I do. I'm kind of all over the place as far as what I do in my free time.
Who would you guys say is like one of your, well, I guess for all three of you, and then as a band, your most influential artists or musicians?
I guess as coming from the perspective of someone who likes to write songs, people like David Bowie and St. Vincent are really big to me. People who are just really devoted to kind of like writing unique songs, taking pop music and making it a little weird, a little off the beating path.
Mm-hmm.
As far as instrumentalists go, guys like Frank Zappa are really important to me. Yeah, just people who kind of do something different with the instrument. You know, they don't necessarily have to be the most technically proficient, but
They just
They
do
have-
something that
they-
actually make it.
they
interesting. Yeah.
innovate. Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
innovate.
yeah. Totally
That's
feel that.
really cool stuff for me.
I really want to do this. Okay, I actually have a lot of.
He's ready.
Yeah, this is
Man's
one. This
ready,
is the.
dude.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, probably John Frusciante from the Red Hot Chili Peppers was like the first musician I ever liked when I was probably like 15 or 16,
Mm-hmm.
and then from there I started listening to like Captain Beefheart because he was a really big fan of Captain Beefheart, and so like I like Zoot
Side
Horn
note,
Oil.
I would like to hang out with you guys after this podcast. We have some extremely similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so then I
Captain
then
Beefheart.
I like him a lot, and I like the band the Mars Volta
Yeah.
with Omar Rodriguez Lopez is like one of my favorite musicians maybe ever, and
And
just
Thomas
any
Pridgeon on drums. Well,
Yeah,
before they kicked
he's
him
a
out.
great drummer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and John Theodore of course, they're all great. Jake's a big fan of John Theodore from the Mars Volta. Also, I really like Zappa too. Tony stole Zappa from me, but I do like Zappa a lot, and
that's all like that's a common thread.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it's on the tip of my tongue. John McLaughlin from the Mahavishnu Orchestra, like fusion, like jazz
Yeah.
fusion
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
Really into that, and like Paco de Lucia. I guess I'm just listing people now. Yeah, I'm just listing. I'm just
I guess they're cool.
Yeah. yes. I love yes. Yeah, yeah, and King Crimson. Yeah. Okay, I stole all of Jake's artists now.
Hey, no, you didn't, dude. Well, Sam and I are really into like Hella, like a lot of that early
Zach
stuff.
Hill.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Zach Hill, players like
yeah.
that. They're really killer.
Yeah.
I just recently came across this guy, Zach Danziger, in this group Edit Bunker, and he kind of does like all this live sampling stuff. That's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
cool. I'm also really into the Mars Volta, shit like that. Zappa's still really cool. I just love the arrangements on it. and there's like some wild parts that just shouldn't work, but they do. Fuck, there was something else. I was like also really into. I really like the band Car Bomb. I was really into like progressive metal for a while, and then I realized I don't really like this because I don't like the people who listen to it. They all kind of annoy me. Like it just kind of seems very self-serving, but it's still fun to listen to. We're from groups like Chon, I dig.
Yeah, Chon is
Chon's cool. I've seen Chon way too much,
It's
like
like
5 times.
intelligent math metal. Yeah.
It's just stoned math metal. Trico's cool. It's pronounced Trico, champ.
Japanese math rock.
It's a bunch of cute Japanese girls playing math rock. It's great.
They pronounce it Trico.
It's Trico, yeah. I highly recommend them. Yeah, they're really good. They just like play. Like it's really catchy. It's like math rock. It's really catchy. Like they care about writing songs more. Than
Terra Mellos is also really cool.
Hope you're happy.
Are there any local bands that you guys look up to? There we go.
Oh, I forgot to mention before that, King Crimson. Everybody likes. Oh, you did?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh,
I did.
God.
Yeah. Yeah.
King Crimson's not even. Oh, that. Well, I could talk. My favorite band we played with is not even really from here, but they're from Wisconsin, I think.
Yeah.
They're called Meat Jelly. I like
Meat
to shout out
Jelly.
Meat Jelly. It's so good.
Meat Jelly.
They played this Cream cover, but it was like insane. And they're like yelling and like rolling around on the floor, and it's just the most.
They describe the music as blues screamo, right? It was such an interesting blend of genres that I had never really come across before. Yeah, it grooved really nicely, but also there was so much intensity and like anger to what they were doing, just like sweaty, dirty anger.
If you
to
guys
it. That was really cool.
can you text me the links? I would love to put their links in this
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah,
That'd be tight.
definitely.
That'd
Cheap
be
City,
sweet.
yeah, that's a cool band that we've played with recently. That's when we were talking about the split 7-inch that we might do.
Okay, I got
Talking
you.
about them,
Yeah,
they're cool. They've got they're very danceable, but also that kind of that same sort of idea of groove and anger. that's nice mix.
Are you familiar with Bent Knee at all?
Not yet.
Well, if you do become familiar with them, they're kind of like that, but with a little more viscera and edge. Yeah, from the same space, sort of that Boston scene.
Yeah. Do you have any other things you want to mention? No. I've liked. I can't think of any right now, but I've liked a lot of bands, a lot of people I've played with.
Did-
Yeah.
This is gonna be
Oh, I'm sorry. I
what's
thought
up?
of one I want
What's
to
up?
say. Young Steve, the band Young Steve
Young
from.
Steve.
Yeah, they're from Berea.
No,
They're not from Berea.
Cleveland, right?
They play in
From that.
area. Yeah, they're really. I highly recommend Young Steve. Yeah. Other than that, there's a lot of good bands. Can't think of them.
Yeah, just come to a house show.
Yeah.
In Akron or Kent or Cleveland, and you'll find a great band down there. Yeah. Regardless. Yeah.
Do you guys think, at a social level, your living situation determines whether or not how hard you will work towards being a successful band? So I talked about this with a few other bands. It's like through a bunch of friends of mine that I've had in the past and like currently and through touring and stuff, it's an interesting pattern of seeing like people with it almost looks like worse living conditions end up working harder, obviously, than certain people that may have had better opportunities. Do you guys think that is true, or do you think that varies from person to person?
I mean, I definitely see some merit in that idea. I think that coming from a background where you don't have everything that you desired, it kind of
It's a GoPro, dude.
Yeah.
We're good, man.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
dude.
that's amazing. It kind of gives you, I guess, it makes you understand the motivation and the determination that it takes to kind of to work hard and really just grind it out for something great. Like I think that. No. I mean, yeah, this is you're not asking the right people, because we don't come from backgrounds that are super depraved or.
But
or
that's
anything like
that's
that.
the thing though too. It's like it doesn't. From what we were seeing, it's like you get this interesting personality type sometimes this person has a wealthier background and they're still doing it. Sometimes this
Right.
person comes from a crappy background and they're still doing it.
Yeah.
What
I think
what like clicks that in somebody's brain?
a lot
you
of
know?
a lot of I think what it takes to succeed, just kind of doing a DIY sort of music thing is just like knowing how to roll with the punches, you know,
Mhm.
just knowing how to deal with failures and shortcomings and
Mhm.
wait for those small successes, you know.
Right.
No, you just have to believe that you don't have anything else, and if you don't do this, you will die without purpose.
Exactly.
Honestly,
no,
though,
I'm
yeah,
fucking,
yeah,
I'm
no,
fucking
yeah.
serious.
I'm glad
no,
that you
it's
said
the,
that,
It's
dude.
the only thing.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be the only thing that really matters.
to you.
Or it's not
yeah.
going to happen. You
Exactly.
can't expect other people to hand it to you. It's something that you do completely yourself.
Yeah.
Nothing is like deserved with it.
Right.
You just have to fucking throw everything you can at it because everybody else that's trying to get it is already doing that, if not more.
Yeah, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like there's no excuse for a lack of work in this.
Yeah.
And sure, I think that a living situation can inspire you to like get out of that more and really like work harder and push yourself to get to a position where you're gonna be comfortable or happy. But I think it's all down to like what you desire personally, and that can sort of like light the flame for you to do that, or you can do it yourself. I get what you're saying. Like if you're coming from
Yeah.
a more comfortable or cushy background, that might not necessarily be
Right.
like the
right.
initiative. You might have a different sort of
Right.
like plan or goal. But no, this is all I have. So
Yeah, it's interesting trying to see like what socially flips that switch in certain people's brains. It's like, you
Yeah.
know what? I know you want me to go to a 4-year school. I'm going to go to this house show on Friday even though I have my final exam and then we're
Yeah.
going to skate later that night. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just,
you know what I mean? Like
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Basically, you just have to really, because you could do everything completely right and like put everything into it, and it still might not even work out exactly the way. So that's like that bit. You have to at least do everything. You know, I always.
yeah, if
You know.
don't do everything in your power to make it happen, you have no right to complain.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, there's people making up excuses left and right. It's like,
You have
bro,
no excuse.
yeah.
I think all it really matters is you have to just be excited by playing music, really, and not.
Yeah.
As long as you're getting, just it's that, when it's there, it's there.
Out there every time you perform or whatever, like that's really valuable.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I definitely think that. I think you just have to not be complacent, and I think that certainly could be helped if you had a rougher upbringing, because then you'd be more likely to not be complacent. But even still, myself having being from like a middle class background, is like I still was like not content with just getting like an office job.
Right.
I want to like have some purpose.
Right,
So
right.
that's
You get-
kind of what motivates me.
Do you guys think advancements in technology have caused more people in our age group to have this lack of purpose?
I don't think so. No, I don't really think so. I think that. No, I don't really think so. Would you like to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very familiar with the whole argument of like, technology is ruining society. These
Mhm.
young kids, these
Right.
like,
They're not doing anything
Yeah,
with their lives.
and
yeah.
I really don't. I don't personally identify with that. I think, if anything, technology has given a lot of people like us more access to, music and information and connections that couldn't have happened otherwise. Like this wouldn't be happening at all if it weren't
Exactly.
for advancements in technology. Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
None of us
yeah,
would
yeah.
listen to anything we listen to now, pretty much, if it weren't for the internet, and technology and things like that. So, I honestly think technology is and advancements in that area have been pretty essential to the modern DIY music scene. in
And
a lot of ways.
that almost like reinforces what you said earlier. It's like there's especially now literally no excuse.
Right.
If you don't know
There's
how to do
always a way
something,
to do
Google is
something.
right
Yeah.
there. Yeah. yeah, dude. Like
WikiHow teaches. Yeah, I mean, it's internet. It's no excuses anymore. I think it's like I'd say it's completely neutral. Personally, I would say
Mhm.
it's neither pot. It's just a tool.
yeah.
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
you can do good things with it. You could not use it.
Well, I think you're at a disadvantage
If you don't, if you don't use social media. If you're like trying to do music, I can't imagine like not having Facebook, for example. Like, that'd be really bad.
Like
Yeah.
promotion has been taken out of the hands of labels. The same with distribution. You can handle all of that yourself.
For sure.
Like there's still a lot of people sort of living like this deluded fantasy. Like I have to get signed, I have to do et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But it's really not necessary anymore. Like a lot of these like independent acts, et cetera, are all kind of promoting themselves just from their own camp. And it's been a really successful campaign for a lot of them. And I think social media and independent distribution is a big part of that.
I also, one thing I really have liked about kind of the prominence of technology that's gotten increased more and more recently, I think it allows artists and bands to get more creative with their marketing and the way they kind of brand themselves. Or, you know, there's all sorts of strange, interesting marketing tactics being used by bands nowadays that they're able to like incorporate other aspects of art and media that would have never otherwise been possible before that. Like, I mean, Death Grips is like a really good example of that. They do.
I was waiting for somebody to say Death
I mean,
Grips.
who would?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, influence. Yeah, who would?
I was honestly waiting for somebody to say Death Grips. I was like, I guess they don't listen to Death Grips.
No, we do. Yeah, all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, when you said Hella, I was like, okay, so they know about DG.
yeah.
Like, I got Money Store on vinyl and Ex-Military on vinyl. Yeah, dude.
I've bottomless
dude.
pit on vinyl.
Yeah, dude.
We didn't even talk about like our favorite rappers or anything. Like Danny Brown.
Hip hop's big.
Yeah, we didn't like.
I got a good question about hip hop.
Yeah.
Too for
cool.
you guys. Like, at a totally different level, I guess, from a different perspective, being like a live sound engineer, promoter guy, indie label dude, person that does stuff. Statistically speaking, rap most definitely makes more money than rock.
Yeah.
But then it's like, I was trying to break it down to, like, my brother, like, is a financial analyst, and I was like telling him straight up, like, yeah, these sort of venues and shows will make this much. These sort of venues do not make this much. And he's like, well, why don't you host X type of events? I'm like, because they're fucking dangerous. Okay? Because the amount of time and effort that typically goes into making one of those rap songs is like one practice session that 3 or 4 guys would typically put into making one song, you know? And then, like, if you listen to what these dudes are, like, saying, sometimes that's cool, sometimes that's hilarious, but, like, at a lower tier level, most of these people are not lying, and it's like everybody in here is pretty dangerous on the outside, so, like, I'd rather work with the rock bands, some dudes that, like, I can really relate to, rather than, like, jumping to that, and then, like, trying to explain to him and, like, other people, like, yo, rap right now, like, has its own vein and realm of existence, and it's almost like avant-garde to be in a 3-piece band now.
Oh yeah, well
you know what I mean? It's
like,
almost weird to tell people like, "Hey, dude, I'm the lead singer of a rock band too," and they're like, "I thought you played in a Jamaican band. I thought you were a rap." I was like, "What the fuck, dude? I shaved my dreads off ages ago, dude. Like, I skate. Like, what are you talking about?"
Like personally, I mean, I've always wanted to like make beats and stuff because I listen to hip hop like 50% of the time, honestly.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but it just, I feel like I couldn't even do. They're so saturated now. I don't even know if I could. Like doing like weird loud rock music now, like there's the small pond, you know.
Yeah.
Like there's not that we don't have too many contemporaries really. Yeah. You know. But like if I was a rapper,
also a smaller audience too.
There's a smaller audience, but I think
right
with like, you know, there's great rappers and stuff that are just like unknown and like making great beats, and you know, it's ridiculous. So I appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about hip hop as a genre that's kind of come to be more and more in the past like 2-3 years is that it blends so many different genres together. Like I think
you sampling,
right,
you know?
right, exactly.
And Ableton Live, right? The technology
like,
thing.
I think that if people who are just like really into kids who are really into like, you know, the more loud, aggressive SoundCloud rap that's really popular right now.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe they could listen to like some weird abrasive 3-piece rock band and get a lot out of that, but they're just not aware of that because it's not nearly as relevant as it was, you know, just a decade, 2 decades ago.
Exactly. And it's interesting to see, to me, I might be viewing things just differently, but it's like rap definitely sounded it had a certain aura about it at this point in time, and then at this point in time it starts to get more and more aggressive. Thank you, Death Grips. and then now you have like there was like mumble rap, and now there's more like abrasive mumble rap.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is like when rock music was like the blues, and then it became metal. I was like, so this mumble distortion rap is like, it's like metal, the rap version of metal in the rap genre, and it's
Yeah.
almost like I guess. Because I was big on like DJing and making like dubstep and house music for a very long time.
That's cool.
We might bring that back since I finally got the venue space. Because there's a bunch of producers like up here too. It's like, no, none of us are from Detroit. None of us are from the hood. Same thing as you guys in the middle of BFE, just making shit on your laptop, drinking coffee, smoking a cigarette, you know. Hey, dude, listen to this beat. Oh, it's tight.
Yeah.
All right, I'm about to rap about this. All right, cool. And then you just have a good time, you know. I think one thing a lot of rock people should take note of from the rap camp is that they actually work together. So, like, features.
Right.
I wish that was a thing. It's like, okay, you have Perfect Girl featuring, or let's say it was Jack White featuring Perfect Girl on a song.
Yeah.
That would be a cool thing to
Jack
see.
White, if you're listening.
Yeah. But it's like,
I love you.
cool stuff like that. Or on Vice, I was seeing that like the way that they would screen songs, they'd have a rap crew or whatever. They take their song, play it at a local independently owned strip club. If people didn't react a certain way, they cut the song and it wasn't on the dude's mixtape.
Yeah.
And then if it made it past 1 or 2 strip clubs, then they would play it at a bigger club, and then that's how it became popular. But still, even at that level, it's all independently owned within each other. For some reason, up here in Cleveland, if you do metal, you don't talk to punk people. If you make punk music, you do not talk to country people, you know? And then just like you guys, there's like this subset of dudes like us. It's like, yo, do you even make music? All right, cool, hang. I don't care what you make.
Yeah.
At least I can relate to you over this because like we're all single, and like life sucks, and I'm also dropping out of school, and you're dropping out of school. So let's go to this house show, you know, like this whole conglomerate, you know, of the underground progression thing.
Yeah, like I appreciate. I would consider us kind of like hard to define specifically.
Yeah.
Like to put like just a general genre tag on us would be kind of difficult. And I kind of appreciate that because then we're not in that situation where it's like,
Right.
oh, we can't talk to this
Exactly.
type of band, or we
Right.
don't feel that pressure
Right.
because we're just kind of rock
Rock and roll, and that is it.
Oh, you heard it here. You heard it here first. Perfect Girl is a rock and roll band, 100%.
I did play your stuff to a few of my friends. They really liked it. Like
Thank you.
seriously,
Appreciate
like if we can do more of that, with a few of the touring bands that we had in, I made the sacrifice and built a CD duplicator. I would love to have like a compilation Ohio disc of like all dudes just making shit in their basement, throw it on a CD. So now whenever the touring bands come in, I'll just trade them. Like, hey, here's 110 CDs of like this dude's band, my band, these other guys that work at the shop next door with us. And then they physically drive back to Colorado and like play it in a coffee shop over there. It's like it's very old school, like 70s way of doing it, but to me it's almost like foolproof because there's this human interaction thing. You know, you see somebody pull up in like a beat up Honda Civic with like 2 or 3 crates worth of CDs made in the basement of somebody else's house. I would much rather listen to that sometimes than like a SoundCloud link.
Right.
You know.
It'd be a really fresh perspective on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people would be into it just because it'd take them by surprise. You know.
Exactly. They're just like
Unexpected.
it's same thing as like the cassette tapes that some people.
Oh
put
yeah,
now.
we have tape. We have tapes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
yeah. Next time we meet up, I want a tape.
Yeah,
I seriously want a tape.
Okay,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we almost brought him today, but I almost brought him today. I almost did. But yeah.
Almost.
Actually, we played at Blank Slate Illyria. I don't know if it's called Blank Slate Illyria, but anyway, it's just Blank Slate.
Right.
They had. I was noticing like there's a kind of side of the room where people sit, and I was noticing someone just left a CD there. Like there's just a CD on the countertop, and like not fancy at all. Just had like Sharpie scribble on the
Yeah,
band,
dude.
You know.
Yeah.
And I was like, that seems like that's pretty cool. Like there's some serious kind of mystery to that if you find that somewhere. It's
Exactly.
Like, CDs
yeah.
are pretty cheap. You know,
Yeah.
you need the CDs. They're not expensive, so it's like that's not a bad idea. Leaving some CDs around, you know.
there's nothing wrong with being mysterious. Like
Yeah.
I think that's what captivated most of us towards Death Grips, because
Yeah.
like in this land of like over promotion and overhype, these dudes plot a tour and don't even show up.
Exactly.
It's like,
Which is
yeah,
why we'll have to
dude.
contact you in about a year and be like, take this interview down.
Yeah, dude, it's like that is what's. And if you guys ever want to do mysterious, just let me know. Well, I'll set up an all rap show and you guys headline.
Oh,
The fuck?
I totally.
Wouldn't that be tight?
That'd be
Like-
awesome.
That'd be amazing.
Like just I am
Well-
totally a fan of like trolling people like that. Like,
yeah.
it
That'd
would
be amazing.
sick, dude.
Oh, open with like harsh noise. Yeah.
That
Oh.
would be sick.
And
Oh my god.
we had that idea with the. Should I say that? What if we actually do it? The Tootsies thing.
Oh, yeah.
I can probably say it. We're gonna pretend we're a country band. Yeah.
Oh.
And we're gonna go to a honky tonk bar, and like we're gonna make some songs that sound like that, just
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
to add some legitimacy.
It's gonna have to be a long game, though. We're gonna have to
Yeah.
like find a promoter who's like cool with it.
Yeah, yeah.
But it'd be
yeah.
a
Learn how to write
but-
honky-tonk music.
that would be a great publicity stunt, though. Like,
Yeah,
right?
and that's the thing too. I don't see much indie people aside from just SoundCloud and overly edited music videos. I don't see anybody really trying to do publicity stunts anymore.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love
It's-
publicity
And it's like,
stunts.
as long as you're not like seriously harming somebody or doing something extremely questionable, like
Yeah.
I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah, even if you're just doing something kind of whimsical, you know,
Yeah.
that just like really catches people off guard.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm all. That's
Whimsical.
what I like. Whimsical.
Whimsical.
Yeah.
That's a good word. People don't use that word enough.
Whimsical.
People don't use that word enough.
Yeah, dude.
Whimsical.
An idea that a few of my friends had. One of my friends works here as well. I have a very large, like, camper van, and then turned it back into a utility van for like all the shows and stuff, and like I work on cars and stuff. But we were throwing around the idea, like, dude, if I get a trailer, or we don't even really need the trailer. What if we just put all the speakers on the roof, and then I put my amp in the front? I'll take the passenger seat out. You put the drum set towards the back, and we play in the van at all these skate parks, dude. He's like, all right. I'm like, yeah.
That's a
Oh,
really-
yeah. I'm going to
that's
get a
a really
second
good
car
idea, yeah.
battery, link that shit up. So then if they tell us to leave, I can drive, or somebody could drive, and we could still like keep playing. Like, can you imagine being like in a traffic jam, and you got a 4-piece band playing?
That'd be awesome.
Dude,
yeah.
like, that'd be
As long as
tight.
you have to film the whole thing too.
Yeah.
This group Moon Hooch did that.
Yeah, I
Europe.
saw that. Yeah.
Are you familiar
yeah.
with Moon Hooch?
Yep.
Really
yep.
killer
and they
guys.
Put the cone thing.
Yeah.
Like in
But
the-
if they're listening, we want to play a show with you. And James, I still have your phone number. I will text you.
you
And,
have,
and we can go hang out with Ryan. That'd be really cool. Oh
do you
yeah.
seriously have his number? What the fuck?
I got it after a show. I've seen him like 3 or 4 times.
Damn.
Funny thing, their drummer studied with the same guy that I studied with like in high school.
Whoa.
So like there's that link. So the first time I went to see them, I was on like guest list because of that.
Are they?
and-
They're from Ohio?
Well, the drummer they're from like New York,
Oh,
from
okay.
the New School in
Yeah, yeah.
Manhattan. But yeah, really, really chill guy. So if you ever hear this, I'd like to do that.
We'll have to tag him.
It'd be cool. Oh yeah, you gotta.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
Trying to get all the hookups here.
dude. Yeah. But that's the like
Omar
I
Rodriguez
tried.
Lopez.
I tried to break it down to a bunch of dudes. I was like, don't think of it as networking, because a lot of the people that say networking to me are like really weird and just like trying to like abuse the fuck out of people. I was like, I see it as just like making more friends. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Legit, just like having friends that happen to do the same thing that you do.
Yeah, because then they
It's-
know people. You know, they
Yeah.
know someone who has a.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
everyone knows someone.
It's like, even though they live in mid Ohio and I live up here in BFE, if you guys ever want to hang and like get Chinese food somewhere in the middle, let
Totally.
me know. Because it's like a relatable thing. It's like, yeah, dude, I was trying to record last night and like my cat sat on my microphone, or like, you know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
like something weird like
There's
that.
only so
know.
many like uncomfortable music connections you would want to make, you know, before
Right.
it's just like that's all you're doing, and then it's like, what's the fun? What even
Yeah.
is the fun in that? The
Yeah.
purpose in that? Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, exactly.
What's the farthest show you guys have played?
I know. I know. Yeah, it's an hour and a half away. I think it's Lake. Is it called Lake? Is it considered a lake?
We're in Lake right now.
We're in Lake now.
Yeah, we're in Lake
It's like a
County
good
right now.
half hour further from here.
What town?
I said I knew. I said it with Fall of Knox and the Harbor Harbor Halcyon.
Halcyon Harbor.
It's called Harbor Halcyon. The venue is. It's like an hour and a. It's like
It was like a cute little bar.
Yeah, it's like half an hour from here, closer to Pennsylvania, like like that way.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
10 minutes in the moon.
No, 10
Probably
minutes
past Fairport Harbor. Maybe that's why they named it that.
It was. Yeah, that's far. We haven't played super far yet. Yeah.
Super far. One time I was driven 2 days to Texas to play a show for like 20 people, or actually like 15 people.
That's how it goes, man.
That's how it was.
That's how it
2
goes.
days of travel for
I've
that.
done that. Did they like it? Did the
It was a
bartender
very,
kind of
very
like it?
Muted response.
Yeah. That wasn't with us. That
it
was
was-
something else.
It
that
was an experience. I got you.
Yeah, that was Jake's thing. Me and Tony didn't do that.
I feel it, dude.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna still travel or tour in the wintertime?
Probably not. We're probably gonna focus more on writing and recording the album. But we're
We'll play shows if they come out.
yeah, for sure. Like we already have like I think 4 shows in November, maybe 1 in December now. Do we have 1 in December?
I'm trying to do stuff for New Year's. If you guys want to
Oh,
keep
yeah.
that night open.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, we but yeah, mostly we're looking forward to maybe going on a tour in spring, maybe summer,
definitely.
like maybe East Coast, right?
East Coast thing.
Because we've made a lot of connections. Kind of.
Yeah, we know it. We played with a lot of bands from like the East Coast and stuff now, so we'd like to play there.
Tight.
Yeah, we don't have any like concrete plans
We
yet.
also don't have anybody to like maybe like split it with, or like another group. We'd be down to find probably another group who'd want to maybe backline gear. That way we
Yeah.
can kind of like streamline the whole thing.
Yeah.
That'd be easy. Like get 2 bands into 2 cars, like rather
Yeah.
than everybody
Yeah.
do whatever. So that might be easier.
I feel that.
Yeah.
What's everyone's major in school? Or are you guys all in school?
Actually, I'm the only one who's in college. I go to
Okay.
Kent State. I go online, so I don't go there. It's public health. It's pretty
Oh.
minimal time commitment.
I see.
Yeah, do that occasionally.
And then you said you're like 17.
Yeah, I'm a senior in high school.
You do not look 17 at all.
Thanks.
Yeah. Like that would, you could slide into a lot of bars.
Yeah. Well,
Easy.
I have,
easily.
but I haven't drank anything. But
Oh,
played.
no. Heavens no. Heavens no.
no, I don't want to do that.
No.
Anyways, no.
Yeah, so like what's your major going to be if you go to school?
I mean, I'm looking at studying like music composition or something along those lines. You know.
I feel it.
Yeah.
Sweet. And what's yours?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
I
mentioned.
don't really
yeah.
do anything. I have a job.
What's your job? Ooh.
It's like a position of nepotism. I kind of work for my parents' company, but it's okay. Like it's
I
very
see.
flexible.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah,
gig
yeah.
and practice whenever I need to do. So it works. I make money. Web design, stuff like that. So pseudo useful to what I'm doing. Not really.
No, yeah.
I really just want
Yeah.
to be broke and like playing drums.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know, man. It's hard, bro. Being broke and playing
No,
drums.
It'd be
is-
fine, like working,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
working part.
Yeah, me and Jake mostly just want to have it be at the point where we can just support ourselves doing music and maybe like
Marry rich.
no. I mean,
It's just be ready.
sure. If that I'm not
Damn.
like gonna avoid that, but at the same no. But if the person, I don't want to get it further into that. But Nace, yeah, of course, yeah, of course. No,
If you love them.
no, for real though. We just want to like, I figure we just like. Mostly, I'm gonna get a Planet Fitness membership. Is basically what I'm getting at. So here's the thing: we could live in our cars at Walmart, shower there. We can be relatively clean.
Sorry, Seabass.
Sorry, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. And so then we're gonna maybe then work like 3 months at like a Target or Ace Hardware or something,
And then
then-
just keep going.
and then keep going after that.
Yeah, dude.
Off of that. Yeah,
And
that's the goal. Yeah, die before 35. Get diabetes.
Why is everybody picking 35, dude? That's what I told somebody else. I was like, if the shit doesn't,
That's pretty good because past that, people expect you to like really have your shit figured out.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Like it's quite a bit. Like it used to be like what, 27. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your prime.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's getting younger and younger the age they expect you to have things figured out.
Maybe it's because they're retiring early and they want us to take care of them. The people that are saying all these things.
I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
It's not good.
Just like still being kind of like fresh in the experience of like high school, planning for your future thing.
Bro, it
it's
sucks.
yeah, I know it's.
I'm just gonna say it. You're gonna get really depressed.
I mean,
Don't
I
smoke
already
cigarettes.
have.
If you do, not,
I
not
would
as
never.
much.
No, I
And
would
if
never.
you drink, just don't drink as much.
Yeah.
As
Okay.
other people.
All right. Noted. Yeah, but it's just like a lot. There's a lot of. I feel like there's a lot of pressure that's always coming down on you to like have a really defined mission for your life, and it's
Yeah.
like I kind of would like to figure that out as I go, especially doing something music related. That's
Right.
what I want to do.
Right.
And it's just like, that's not something that you can just have directly planned out. It's
Right.
so malleable.
And there's such like a sense of adventure when like you're packing. Well, for me, because like I'm hosting a lot of them, so like for whoever I'm riding with, their perspective is really warped. So like one of my friends, when I used to live in Cincinnati, he was homeschooled until college. And then I met him his second semester of college. And so like we were loading the van at like 3:30 in the morning to drive to Indiana. It was like such a culture shock, But he had a great time though. He was like, I didn't know that people do this. I was like, I don't really know if people do this either. But this is like it's an adventure, like you said, like when you're young and you have pretty much no real yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
what we said before. Yeah, you don't have much
should
to
be
lose.
exploring. And,
It's like, why
yeah, test
not
the waters.
hop into a crappy vehicle with your friends and play an empty bar across the
Yes.
country? Because you're gonna come into some awesome like stories along the way.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted. Yeah, that's all I want to really do is just have a life that actually means something. Like that's at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's what everyone wants, I guess. Yeah, it doesn't have to. Yeah, not in some, just like personally, just on like a personal level, I guess, right?
sound like we're trashing people who have like more defined career.
No, that's
Yeah, no.
totally
Yeah.
fine.
Sometimes I envy those people. Do you know what I mean?
It's like, damn, you figured it out,
Yeah.
dude. Like,
yeah, none of us have really done that.
That might be a means of perspective, though. Like a lot of successful people always mention, like you're not really seeing the come up years. Like the 8 Mile phase for like a lot of people, they just see the nice polished person at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, you don't see all the work that goes into
yeah.
it. Oh yeah, like the Mars Volta. I've seen the band before them at the Drive-In was
Mhm.
the band they were. I don't know if you're familiar with at the Drive-In. Really good. I guess more like post-hardcore, and they would play like schools, like high schools, where there'd be like 2 people.
Oh,
And the way
man.
they got signed actually back when that was like a thing that happened. They got signed. They got signed. Back when that meant something, that had some consequence.
High school shows were still around then.
Yeah, they played at a bar with like 2 people. I think there was 2 people that saw them, and they got signed that night because they saw they were like throwing themselves on the stage and
going for it,
This-
even
yeah.
with nobody there.
yeah. I mean they were probably on like a ton of amphetamines and stuff, but at the same time,
So there's where
Still
we
put everything
there's
into
where
it.
We diverge from at the drive.
that's, yeah, they'll do amphetamines. Yeah.
Do you guys think drugs and alcohol severely impacts artists and musicians alike? Do you think it's better to go without it? What are your perspectives on that? And this will probably be like our last topic.
Yeah. I don't really think so. I think it can lend to some interesting experimentation sometimes, but I think for a lot of people, they sort of cling on to I use this for creativity as a crutch to sort of like make their substance abuse seem more legitimate.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I used to use like stuff like that, but like I've since been like sober for like a year and a half probably, and I think I've been legitimately more creative then. And like none of us, like Sam's never done anything. Tony's never done anything. And it's just I don't think it would really lend itself to what we're doing. Like I don't think it's
playing. We couldn't even like the stuff we're playing. It's like hard, I have to like focus
no, yeah,
on it.
yeah, dude,
I like
yeah.
put a lot into it. Sometimes I'm playing and like I almost like I start getting that like gray around my eyes. Like I feel like I'm gonna pass out. It's like, and like it doesn't help that I've like today, I just ate like a Pop-Tart. That's all I had to eat today was like a Pop-Tart. And that's like a typical thing. It's like I don't want to eat before a show. You don't want to get sick. So like
Right.
so I don't eat. It's taxing. I don't know if any of us could do that if there was like substances involved.
It does get freaking annoying. I've never tasted alcohol either. I just used to smoke a lot of pot, and I stopped smoking when I was 19 because I smoked lace shit and drove
Oh,
a car into somebody's front yard.
Jeez.
Yeah, PCP. Woo. Yeah, no, never again. So
Jeez.
that's how I fixed myself real fucking
Yeah.
quick, dude. And then became a piano teacher and did a whole bunch
Oh,
of
really?
other shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
I do a lot of weird. One of these days, I personally would like to get to a level where somebody just out of the blue hits me up, like, hey,
Yeah.
I see you doing stuff. Tell me about the stuff that you do. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to know that, dude. 'Cause this shit's about to be like 5 hours worth of just
Yeah.
crap. Like, Jesus. But yeah, like,
yeah.
in terms of substances, though, I'm in the same boat as you guys. Like, if anybody's listening to this right now and you do it, like, I guess that's fine. But
It's your
like,
choice.
seriously, like, attempt doing it sober, you'll be way more productive.
For sure.
You know.
And, like,
I get more out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
We're surrounded with a lot of.
Lose yourself.
Right.
We're just.
Right.
And I think we're surrounded by like a lot of the musicians we play with are really into drugs. It's a lot-
Right.
It's a huge thing, and like I don't know, it's always been kind of weird to me. And I have friends that are really into drugs and like a lot of drugs.
Harder stuff.
Yeah,
like,
like-
oxy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of
Yeah.
a wreck, so I don't want to mess with it really.
Yeah, I feel like just losing yourself in some sort of musical experience is just a way more valuable organic experience than like losing yourself in some sort of chemical
Right.
experience.
Right.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I personally don't ever plan on getting into that whole culture. It's just, I'd prefer to just use it purely from my brain. Yeah.
Sort of an
No, well, yeah.
sort of another advantage too, at least while you're playing. A lot of people, because I was in marching band as well. I was in marching band for a
Yeah.
very, very long time, and I was in concert
marching
band and symphonic band, a whole
Go
bunch of other
band.
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, seriously, it's like
It's a great
super good.
program. Yeah.
And the thing that band has taught us, I suppose, is how to properly focus and perform in front of a crowd. Because it wasn't until like my first few shows outside of marching band, like me and my best friend would like sit there and we like grinded like 10 and a half hours on a 7-song set. Like it was perfect. But then when we go to play it at this bar, there's nobody at the bar.
Yeah.
Nobody gave a shit about us. And then this band that's like literally spitting into the mic or rolling around on the floor is like getting all the attention. It's like, dude, what? Like that was the
Yeah.
sloppiest thing I've ever seen. And then it becomes like desensitizing
Right.
to where it's like, what? Well, is this what is acceptable? And like you gotta like put two and two together.
Yeah.
And it's like when those groups of people sometimes are playing at a higher tier level, whether it's 5 people or 100 people, we could focus. Some of those people seriously cannot pull it together. They like shaking and stuff,
Yeah.
and like they need to like either be drunk or be sedated in some sort of way to like make it work.
It's ridiculous.
You
yeah.
know, so I think that I'm like proud of you guys. Like even knowing that, it's like cool. We do stuff
Yeah.
completely sober, sweet.
Yeah, the first time I ever
Yeah.
like really played guitar or sang in front of any group of people was band camp. They have a skit night. And I did something
Oh,
for
yeah.
that. I played "Breathe" by Pink Floyd my freshman year, and and everybody was like really nice to me afterwards. Like it felt good, like
Yeah.
to just have them appreciate that like I put myself out there,
Right.
and that just it kind of helped me realize, like this is something I love to do. Just you
Right.
know, putting myself out there in a musical way and performing for people is something I really love. Yeah.
Right on. Any closing comments for you guys? What shows are coming up? What rehearsals you guys got coming up? Any music videos? Any other bands you want to
Yeah.
shout out? Any other stuff like that?
Probably.
Speak now or forever hold your peace.
We have rehearsal now. We have rehearsal tonight at 7 p.m.
Be there.
We
if you
actually come to the house. I really should not give your address out.
can.
No, we actually do have a rehearsal tonight, but yeah, no, we have a show. We're playing at Happy Dog, the Euclid Tavern, which is closing.
Really?
Yeah, did you know that?
I honestly did not know that.
Yeah,
Like, I
Euclid
straight
Tavern.
up didn't
Yeah,
know that.
Euclid Tavern's closing. We're playing there the 10th with this band, the Last Great American Rock Band, and they're cool. I think I've heard a little bit of them. I think they're really cool. They have a cool name.
Can
for
you
sure? Yeah.
If you send me the show poster, dude, I will try my best to be there, and I'll help you guys
cool.
promote it. 'Cause
Thank
that
you,
would
man.
be
Yeah.
that'd be tight.
Yeah,
That
we
would be tight.
have, and then the 16th of November, me and Jake are doing this thing at this house It's on Facebook. We're actually writing some stuff. I made a fretless guitar.
Hell
me
yeah,
and- Actually,
dude.
Jake,
I made the
he
fretless.
made it. I really just bought I bought a really cheap guitar. Yeah, I bought this is a little off topic, but I bought like a $50 like Ibanez
Yeah.
guitar, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we ripped out the frets and like,
Hell yeah.
yeah. And so we're gonna write some stuff and maybe improv a little bit.
If you guys have any house shows too, hit me up because
Yeah.
there are a lot. Like our whole crew of people, we're always searching.
That's a house, and then the day after, the 17th, is at Bless This Mess in Akron, which is a house,
Got
really great house venue.
it.
And
Got it.
that's probably
That's on Saturday too, right?
yeah. Come out to that one. That's gonna be a fun one. The
Tight.
Dolly Hoppers, they're cool.
Tight. Anything else, my dudes?
I mean, yeah, we'll keep on the lookout for stuff we're recording coming up. We're really planning to like get some recordings done. We have a lot of new songs written that we're really excited about. Keep on rocking in the free world. Doodle do do do.
Do
Nardwar.
Oh, I love Nardwar. Shout out to Nardwar. Yeah, he's the
Nardwar.
best.
Yeah, dude. And your names one more times? Oh yeah, Anthony
Oh,
Pantano.
Yeah. Tony Beatty.
Sam Hollick.
And Jake Ross.
And you guys are listening to the Pleasant Podcast. We'll see y'all later. Thank you guys.